وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُّدَّكِرٍ. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Beloved viewers of MTA Africa, you are welcome to your program, our program Quran Made Easy. And today we shall continue our discussion on the rules guiding the recitation of Nun sākinah and Tanween. In our last episode, we discussed the second rule guiding the recitation of Nun sākinah and Tanween, which is al-idgham. I mentioned that al-idgham literally means inserting one thing into another. And in this case, it means we are inserting the Nun sākinah into the letter that comes after it. I also mentioned that there are 6 letters of al-idgham. That is 6 letters that anytime you see any one of them coming after the Nun sākinah, then you are to apply al-idgham. I also mentioned that idgham has 2 types. We have the perfect or the complete and the imperfect, that is the incomplete. So we started our discussion on incomplete one, which is idgham naqis, otherwise known as idgham bi ghunna. So I explained that out of the 6 letters of al-idgham, 4 of them are for idgham naqis. And they are ya, nun, mim, and waw. So anytime you come across any of these 4 letters, immediately after Nun sākinah and Tanween, then you have to observe an incomplete idgham. That is, you insert the Nun sākinah into the letter in such a way that some properties of this Nun sākinah will still be felt. And that property is the ghunna, which is that sound that comes from the nostril. So we gave some examples in our last episode for idgham naqis. So we gave the examples of ya. For instance, in Surah Az-Zilzal, where Allah says, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ فَمَنْ يَا فَمَنْ يَا. I mentioned that if you want to observe this idgham naqis, one thing you have to do is to take your time a little bit on the nun while you are trying to transit between the nun and the ya, which is the letter of idgham. So how do you do that? You say faman ya, faman ya. Don't say faman ya. When you say faman ya, you are applying idhar, and that would be wrong, because ya is not a letter of idhar that requires you to manifest the nun sākinah. So here you are trying to hide it. But in an attempt to hide it, you are still trying to retain some of its properties, so that anybody listening will still hear something like that known sound. Famay, famay, famay. So that sound, that is the gunna that comes from the nostril. So it is a property of the known. So famay ya'mal, famay ya'mal. So another example we gave in our last episode is the example of known. So the word min nar, for instance, min, then we have nar. So we have 2 nun there. The first one is carrying sukun, which is that nun sākinah. Then we have the second one carrying fatha and shadda. So how do you pronounce it? Min na, not min nar. When you say min nar, that is idhar, and that will be wrong. So today we are going to give more examples before we go to the second type of idgham under this topic, which is idgham kamil, a complete idgham. So let us look at the example of waw, for instance, under idgham naqis. In Surah Al-Buruj, Allah says, Wallahu min wara'ihim muhīṭ. Min wara, min wa. So we have 2 words here. We have min, so ending with nun sākinah. Then we have wara'ihim, which is waw. We have wa. So don't forget, waw is one of the letters of idgham naqis. So how do you pronounce it? Min wa, min wa. So you can feel that sound of gunna So don't say min wara'ihim. It is wrong. It is not wallahu min wara'ihim muhita. Wallahu min wara'ihim min wara. So that's how you recite it. Wallahu min wa. So that is idgham naqis. That is an incomplete idgham. It is incomplete because it has gunna, which is one of the properties of noon that is retained. That is the meaning of that incomplete. And I said it is also called idgham bi gunna. That is idgham that has gunna. So the second type of idgham is idgham kamil, a complete idgham. That is, there will be full insertion of the noon sākinah into the next letter, and no property of that noon sākinah will be left. That is a complete immersion, a complete insertion of the letter into another letter. You will not even feel the presence of that noon sākinah at all. And there are two letters for this. So when you subtract the 4 letters of idgham naqis from the 6 total letters of al-idgham, we are left with 2, which are lam and ra. So anytime you come across lam or ra, immediately after noon sākinah, then you apply idgham kamil or idgham bi ghayri gunna. That is idgham without gunna. Idgham bi ghayri gunna means idgham without gunna. That is idgham bi ghayri gunna or idgham kamil, a complete idgham, a perfect idgham. So lam and ra. For instance, so min wara'ihim muhit, that is idgham naqis, as I have said. But let us look at the word min ladunka in the Quran. Min ladunka. We have min, mim kasrah, then we have nun sukun, which is the nun sākinah. That's the focus. Then after it, we have the lam, which is a letter of idgham kamil. So how do you pronounce it? So you say milla, milla. When you listen to milla, it is as if the nun has been totally deleted. So that is the impression. Milla, as if we have mim there, kasrah mi, then immediately we have lam shadda. Milla, no traces of nun is left. So no traces of nun, of that nun sākinah there. That makes it idgham kamil, a perfect idgham, a complete idgham, a complete idgham. So milladunka, milladunka, milla. Now, if there is no gunna, as we have said, there will be no gunna on kamil, it then means that you won't take your time on the nun or the transition between the nun and the lam. The nun has been deleted practically, so we are not pronouncing the lam. So just pronounce what comes before the nun sākinah and go straight to the letter of idgham kamil, which is carrying shadda, immediately. And don't linger on that letter. Don't stay too much on that letter. Don't say milla. That one is also wrong. Milla, as simple as that. Milla, as if there is no nun at all. Also, min rabbika. We have min rabbika, from your Lord. How do you pronounce it? Mirra, not minra or minra. No, because ra and lam, they do not have al-gunna as one of their properties ordinarily. They are not letters of gunna. So you don't observe gunna when you are doing idgham for them. So they do not have gunna as one of their attributes, because all Arabic letters have their attributes called the sifatul huruf. So lam and ra are not letters of gunna. So you don't apply gunna for them at all. So mirra, don't say mirra. When you say mirra, you can observe the sound, which is the gunna, and that will be wrong. So min rabbika or milladunka, as if there is no nun there at all. Let us look at more examples. Wallahu ghafurur rahim. Now we have to wait. Ghafurun, run. That is ra then dhammatan. Don't forget, I said every tanween you come across as a nun sākinah there. So ghafurun there, it means there is ra dhammaru. Then we have nun sākinah, which is ghafurun. Then immediately after that we have rahim. we have letter Ra, which is a letter of idgham kamil, a complete idgham. So how do you pronounce Wallahu Ghafurur Rahim? You don't say Wallahu Ghafurun Rahim. No, that is idhar. You say Wallahu Ghafurur Rahim, Ghafurur, and don't roll it too much. Don't roll the Ra. Don't say Ghafurur. No, it is not Ra. It is not Ra. Ghafurur Rahim, Ghafurur Rahim. So that is idgham kamil. Again, the 6 letters of al-idgham are ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, and nun, used to form the word yarmalun. Then idgham is further divided into 2. We have the complete and the incomplete. And what we mean by incomplete is that when some properties of that nun sākinah is still retained, and that is the ghunna, that is the sound, that nasalization sound coming from your nostril, that sound. When it is retained, then that makes the idgham incomplete. And on what occasion do we apply that? When we have any of these 4 letters immediately after the nun sākinah. When we have ya, or we have nun, mim, or waw, used to form the word yanmu. That is what you look for. Just look for the letters after the nun sākinah. Okay, it is ya or it is waw. Okay, that will be idgham naqis. And how do you pronounce it? Take your time a bit. While you are transiting between the nun sākinah and the waw, naturally the ghunna sound will come out. Min wara'ihim. Wallahu min wara'ihim. When you practice that at home, you will feel the sound of that N sound, that ni sound, that nun sound. You feel it. So that means some properties of that letter, nun, is still retained. That means we have not fully inserted it into the waw. As you take your time, naturally, the sound will come. But as for kamil, a complete immersion, complete insertion of the nun sākinah into the next letter. No properties of the nun will be left. And it is when you have lam or ra immediately after nun sākinah that you apply that. And I've given examples for both ra and lam. For ra, we have mir rabbika. Mirra. You don't say min rabbika. No. It will be as if we have deleted the nun completely, as if the nun does not exist. Mir rabbika. If it is lam, milladunka, milladunka, milla, 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 milla. Then if it is tanween, wallahu ghafurur rahim, ghafurur rahim, ghafurur, not ghafurun, no ni sound. When the ni sound is there, then it is no more idgham kamil. So it is idgham, it's not idgham kamil. And it will not even be idgham naqis. It will be idhar. Because even in idgham naqis, that ni sound will not be that apparent. It is only in idhar, which is manifestation. When you are manifesting the nun, that ni sound will be that manifest. So when you say ghafurun rahim, so you are not doing idgham kamil, you are not doing naqis. You are not doing idgham at all. You are doing something entirely different, which is al-idhar. So it is idgham. It is either idgham is kamil, that is complete, or it is incomplete. So the one that is complete is called idgham bi ghayri ghunna. That is the idgham that has no ghunna. And I've told you the reason it does not have ghunna is because lam and ra do not have ghunna as one of their properties. They are not letters of ghunna. But as for the other 4 letters, they are letters of gunna. So that is why they are having gunna whenever they come after nun sākinah or tanween. So let us continue to practice at home. So pick a copy of the Quran, start ticking, start underlining those portions of the Quran where you have this example. Just look out for the tanween, the nun sākinah, and look at the letter that comes after it. And by that you can continue to practice till you master it. May Allah the Almighty enable us to understand the recitation of the Quran. For further inquiries and questions, please send them to africa@mta.tv. Till we meet in our next episode, I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.